Sometimes it's not other people, it's not our lack of resources, it's not our background, it's not our circumstances. We don't have haters, because sometimes we can tell ourselves so many things in our heads that we have haters, we have this and that. That is the reason why we are not living the lives that we want to live. But more often than not, the things that are really stopping us from actually living the lives that we want to live are not outside factors, are not anything outside of ourselves. We sometimes become our own worst enemy. We sometimes become our own worst critic. We say the most terrible things about ourselves. We believe the most terrible things about ourselves. That is what ends up, being the thing that is standing in our way. In other words, we ourselves, we end up getting in our own way of success, in our own way of actually achieving the things that we want to achieve for ourselves, and actually getting to live the life that we want to live. In my own journey, I've identified a few things where I could see that here I'm standing in my own way. Here I'm the thing that is standing between myself and the life that I want to live. One of the things that I've seen to have a potential of stopping you from really pursuing the things that you want to pursue and actually getting to live the life that you want to live is self-doubt, where you want to pursue something, you want to do something, but you don't really believe that you have what it takes. You don't really believe in your own competence in that area. You don't believe in your own abilities when it comes to actually executing whatever it is that you want to execute. So that's the one thing that can really stand in your way. That's the one thing that can really stop you from achieving the things that you want to achieve. One thing that I've learned in my own level up journey and through listening to other people who have made it in their own journeys is that when it comes to self-doubt, really, we tend to spend so much time trying to fix it so that you can be able to go ahead and do the thing that we want to do. But what I've come to realize is that you can never really completely get rid of self-doubt. At least that's what I've learned. That's what I've come to accept. That's the one thing that has really been helping me and just pushing me along. So instead of me spending so much time, so much energy trying to get rid of this self-doubt because no one wants to feel like they don't have what it takes. So instead of trying so much to focus on getting rid of that or trying to suppress it, just accept it, embrace it, accept the fact that you can never really completely get rid of self-doubt, because even if you learn something today and you master the thing, then you become confident in that thing, then you feel like, all right, now I've mastered it. For you to move on to the next level, it's going to require you to learn something new. It's going to require you to do something different from the things that you've been doing, of which sometimes you'll find that you again start to experience self-doubt. It's important that you do find ways to manage your self-doubt, because that can really paralyze you and can really stop you from doing anything really. So you have to find ways to manage it so that you can be able to go ahead and move along and pursue things that you want to pursue. One thing that also helps me in managing my self-doubt is that whenever I have proven to myself that I can actually do something, it's like I have proof now that I know how to do this thing. Obviously, that way then I'm gonna become more confident in doing that thing. That is also gonna be helpful for future things that I want to pursue, because I'm going to have a reference to say there are things that I didn't know in the past that I was able to learn and acquire those skills. That way I can learn this new thing as well that I'm trying to pursue. So those are some of the things that can help you to manage your self-doubt. Sometimes you're just going to have to just forge ahead and just pull the trigger and do the thing that you've been so scared of doing, do the thing that you didn't think that you could actually do, so that you can actually see that you are capable, you can become competent, you can become confident in whatever it is that you want to pursue. That is the one thing that is helping me to manage my self-doubt when it comes to certain things that I'm trying to pursue or certain things that I'm trying to do that are going to get me to the next level. The other thing that can be the cause of you standing in your own way is the perfectionist mentality or perfectionism. Waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for the perfect time, waiting for the perfect thing to happen before we go ahead and do the thing that we know deep down is the thing that is going to take us to the next level. That's another thing that I've identified in my own journey, that sometimes I want things to be perfect. Sometimes I'm waiting for things to be super perfect before I can go ahead and do the thing that I want to do. But what I've learned again is that they can also really stand in your own way. That can really delay you because you are trying to achieve something that is impossible. perfection is not possible. What I've tried to implement in my own life is that as long as I know that this is the best that I can do, this is the best work I can produce at this time, with the resources that I have, with the time that I have, with the knowledge that I have, then I'm comfortable. Then I know that I can go ahead and move along. I'm no longer waiting for things to be perfect. I'm no longer waiting for the work that I produce to be perfect. As long as I'm comfortable and as long as I'm honest with myself to say, this is the best work I can produce with the knowledge that I have at this point, with the skills that I have at this point, with the information that I have at this point, then I go ahead, I do the thing that I need to do. I no longer wait for it to be perfect, really, because, sometimes you find that maybe you are working on a project, you are working on something, you are trying to create something, and you could have maybe finished creating that thing within 3 months, for example. But because you keep telling yourself in your head that you just want this thing to be perfect, you are trying to make this thing perfect, it ends up taking you a whole year or even longer to just finish that thing or to just get started, and that can waste a lot of your time. So that is yourself getting in your own way because you are trying to achieve something that doesn't exist. So just get that out of your mind. Know that perfection does not exist. As long as, like I said, as long as you know that you've given it your all, you've done the best that you could at that time with the resources that you have, with the information that you have, with the time that you have, because sometimes we like to compare ourselves with other people who maybe are not as committed to a lot of things as we are. We compare ourselves with those people, then we think that we are not good enough, but that is not the case. Overthinking things, again, is something that can cause you to be standing in your own way, because now you want to think about every single scenario that can occur, every single scenario that can happen when you are trying to pursue something. But truthfully, you can never really prepare for every single scenario before you can go ahead and start doing something. Some things you can only learn along the way. Some things will only come up along the way. Only then you can be able to find ways to deal with whatever comes your way. So stop overthinking things, because sometimes when you overthink things, you end up wasting a lot of time thinking about possible situations, possible scenarios, things that might end up not even happening. Now you've spent so much time worrying about the worst case scenario. I'm not saying that you should not think about such things. Of course, you should think about different scenarios and think how you are going to handle those different scenarios. But like I'm saying, you can't think about each and every scenario, worrying about things that may or may not happen. That way you are wasting a lot of your time. So don't overthink things. You can always find ways to deal with the what ifs along the way. That does not have to stop you from actually starting something. You will learn along the way and you'll find answers to those what ifs that might come along. The next thing that I know for sure has caused me to stand in my own way is my lack of focus, is me allowing distractions to just, consume my time, take my energy, to take my time away from doing the thing that I know that I should be doing, the thing that is going to take me to the next level. So again, find ways to manage your distractions. First of all, you need to know what are your distractions, because if you're not even aware that you have certain things that are distractions, you're not really even going to see that now you are becoming distracted. That way, you'll realize down the line that you were distracted, you've wasted a lot of time. So the first thing that you need to do is that you need to identify your distractions. Know the things that tend to distract you from doing the things that you know that you should be doing, and then find a way to manage those distractions. For me, I've spoken about this in other videos as well, is that my phone is one of my biggest distractions. I find myself scrolling on the phone mindlessly, so not even being aware that I'm now scrolling on the phone instead of doing something that I intended to do, maybe editing a video or working on my digital products or whatever it is that I wanted to do on that specific day. What I've done now, what I've implemented that has helped me to really manage that distraction, I use an app that blocks my phone for a specific period of time. That way I cannot access my phone, I cannot access any app. That way I cannot mindlessly scroll on my phone. I can focus on the task at hand and be able to accomplish the task that I wanted to accomplish. Before then, I can start scrolling on my phone. But I was only able to do that because I was able to identify that as one of my biggest distractions. If you do that for yourself as well, identify what are your biggest distractions, what are the things that normally stop you from accomplishing the tasks that you want to accomplish in a given day or in a given week, and then find ways to manage those distractions. Because what we focus our energy on is the thing that is going to prevail. If we focus our energy on things that really do nothing for us, that don't move the needle in the right direction for us, so that we can be able to move closer to us achieving our goals, us living our dream lives, then we're never going to get to that level. If we allow distractions, if we allow self-doubt, if we allow perfectionism and all of those things, if we allow all of those things to stop us from actually pursuing the things that we want to pursue, then we are never going to get there. That is why it's super important to identify these things. That is why it's super important to be aware of the things that we do to ourselves, the things that we say to ourselves, the things that we believe about ourselves, that more often than not, those are the main things that are standing between us and the lives that we want to live. So it's very important that we identify these things, we find ways to work around these things, to manage these things, so that we can be able to move forward and get to live our dream lives. If you did enjoy the video, please do give it a thumbs up, and also please do click that subscribe button. I'd really love to have you over. By the way, my analytics are showing me that 80% of you that are watching my videos are not subscribed to my channel, and I don't know why is that, because subscribing is free. And if you do enjoy the content on this channel, if you find value on the content on this channel, I'd really appreciate it if you do click the subscribe button. Thank you so much to all of you that have already done that, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.